Hello friends, welcome back to another video.
If this is the first time you're watching one of my videos, I want to welcome you, and I want to let you know that we're giving land away on this channel. And all you have to do is like and subscribe and comment.
You know, I've been thinking about investing. That's what's always going on in this brain. It's cranking and grinding, and all of a sudden a little light bulb will start flickering, and then it'll explode, and I'll come up with a little tiny brain cell idea. And well, that happened to me today. I've been looking on that publicsurplus.com website that I told you all folks about, and they've got a classroom in there for sale. It's a mobile home, and the bid right now is $1,025, and I estimate it'll probably be at least $15,000-$20,000 to move it. And so let's say I bought this and moved it instead of this home that I've been working on onto that acre, this acre here. I'll show you. This is it, folks. This is it. Look at behind me, those mountains. It's so hard to see them. It just doesn't do it justice, folks. I'm telling you, it's beautiful. It's got really nice mountain views here. We got like the tallest swirls. Look at how tall this thing is. Do you realize how tall that is? I'm not kidding you. I think that's probably 30 feet. That may be one of the tallest swirls I've ever seen. Very excited for the property that we bought. We looked at about 4 or 5 different properties, folks, and we have determined that this is the property that we're settling on. It's by far the best deal that we've seen. There has been property that have sold just in this area where we're at for about $100,000, and this one was less than that, and it had all the utilities on it. Okay, let's say I buy that and move that onto there. I paid $63,000 for that acre. I got a really good deal on it, so the property was worth more than what I paid. My plan is to move this there, and then I can sell this mobile home right here on this property, let's say 200 grand. Then I move this over to the other acre that I just bought for 63, and I can sell it for, let's just say 200 grand. I think I can sell the other one for a little bit more, but just for quick numbers here, $400,000. And that's a lot of money. I mean, that's a lot of money, especially since everything you see here, this acre with both of these mobile homes. Now, they did not look like this. These mobile homes, this mobile home behind me had the old aluminum siding, and this mobile home did too. They both had the old aluminum siding on it when I bought it, and I put new windows in, just renovated them. They were tear downs. They were in terrible shape. So let's say that I, instead of moving this, like was my original plan, I go and buy that classroom and put it on that acre and just sell it's a double wide. It's a double wide mobile home. This is a single wide. And let's say I put it on that acre and I sell it for $150,000. I think I could, especially if I was willing to carry it. In other words, somebody give me 20 grand, 30 grand down, and then I carry it and they build it out. They build it into a house. You know, it would be a pretty nice home. And then I would make a lot of money, right? It would cost me probably $20,000 to buy that and move it. But If I just sold the acre by itself, I could sell it for about $100,000. So that's the number I got to look at. Okay, it's 100,000. Let's say it's 20, 25, maximum, but probably closer to 20 to buy it and move it. That means I would only be making about $30,000, and I couldn't sell this. I couldn't sell that mobile home then. So the way I feel is the fact that I can make $30,000, that's a lot of money, would tie up a lot more money. And I don't have enough money to do both of these investments. And so when you're coming across opportunities, you want to look at everything through, because anything's a risk. So I tie up more money, and what if the market goes down? What if something occurs where I've run into issues? I've got more money involved. This here where I'm at, I've already bought the land. I've done everything. I just need to move it. And then I could sell the mobile home there. Now there's so much to think about as to what's the best ideas whenever you're investing the little bit of money that you have. And in my case, it's always I've got a little bit that I'm investing, and I'm always buying more real estate. I've invested all my money in dirt, good old dirt. So anyhow, those are my thoughts. So I got to get back to work. Otherwise, none of this stuff's ever going to get done. Now, of course, if I had enough money to do both, that would be a great investment. The first investment that kick-started me and got me to where I'm at today, I borrowed money on a credit card and bought land. I bought just the dirt, the land itself, with an owner carry on it and a balloon payment after 5 years. I had to pay it all off. And, long story short, all my stories are long, folks, if you haven't realized yet. Before I even paid that one off, I did it again. But this time it had a double wide on it, and it had a swimming pool. It was a tear down too, but I completely renovated that house and sold it. Well, I had both of those owner carry going at the same time. Talking about some stress. And so I had to come up with a chunk of money or I'd lose both of them, because the balloon payments were coming up on the same time. So I put a lot of stress on myself, so I borrowed money, and that's how I started all this. And so since then, I've only been using my own cash. I don't want to feel that stress of the running out of cash. I want to be able to go and enjoy my life. I've worked so hard. I like going to Mexico. I like going up to the White Mountains. God's blessed me, but I've worked really hard with these hands to make that happen. I don't sit around and wait for it to happen. I make it happen. If it's the only way this is ever going to work, is get myself motivated. And when you work for yourself, it's easy to start resting on your laurels when you've had some success. Don't do that, because money goes quick. And the reason I do mobile homes is less money. Less money's less risk. So it's been working for me. Why do I change the recipe when I'm getting closer to finally having enough financial freedom? And when you're working for yourself, you're always worried about running out of money and having to go get a real job. But this is a real job. I'm not kidding you. You got to work your butt off. You got to always be doing something. This is my daughter coming home from school. Her car back there is broke down. This is what I mean by you always run out of money. I got to fix her car. She's a high school girl. She's hiding.
She was fighting me.
And listen to this old truck, it just beeps and beeps when you take it out. It's been stolen when it was beautiful, a long time ago. This truck didn't have a scratch or a blimp on it when I first bought it. It's been many years. I love this old truck. I got in a lot of trouble in that truck. my brother that passed away. We raised some hell in that truck. And then I got this place thereafter in 2010 for $18,000 with 2 mobile homes and on an acre. And when I'm talking about this, I'm talking on the market. I'm not talking about, in some basement somewhere, that I know this guy. This was on the market, folks. This was on the market. Anybody could have done this. You could have done this. And, so now times are getting a lot harder. We all know that. Like, for example, that acre that I'm bragging about that I could sell for $100,000, I paid $63,000 for that acre with nothing on it. And we're talking the first land that I bought was $25,000, and I did the owner carry on that. And then I bought another mobile home on an acre that had a conventional swimming pool on it for $35,000. Incredible. So I paid just for the acre that this home goes on here, $63,000. I paid more on that acre than both of those initial investments that kick-started where I've been working for myself, for many years with all these projects, building things. In fact, that acre that I paid $25,000 for, the first one, I got a mobile home off of Craigslist for free. You can imagine what a free mobile home looks like. It looked worse than this place, but it was a double wide, and I fixed it up, and that's a rental now. So I have residual income coming in. That's how I can function, so I'm not spending the money that I'm working. That residual income is creating more opportunity for me to continue to work for myself. And if I didn't have that, I could not come in here and work. I'd have to go get a real job. A lot of things had to happen to make it possible for me to do what I do. But anybody can do it. You got to have a plan, and you got to make sure it's executed. And if you're, young and strong, you can do it a lot easier. The older you get, it gets harder in some ways. But this mobile home that we're in right now did not have a title. So I filed for a bond and title and got the title. I actually have title in hand for this. The same thing I'm doing for the mobile home in the White Mountains, So, folks, I'm using little money and turning little money into millions of dollars. Not just $1 million, but I'm going beyond $1 million with just maybe $100,000. So 10 times it. And this is real stuff. This ain't BS bull crap, go buy my book crap and I'll tell you how it's done. I'm just doing it here, and I'm telling you and talking, and I know that I got ADHD and some other things probably added to that with some RSTs and X and V's and B's and L's. I don't know. You can just throw all the labels on there that you can think of, and I probably got it. But the truth of it is I just keep going. No matter what you've got as an obstruction in your way, the only way you're going to fail is if you quit. And that's how I've got to keep my brain at all times. If I don't, I get lazy. And if you're working for yourself, it's a recipe for disaster. You got to kick butt and keep moving. So I had a comment from a viewer, and I appreciate every comment. I try to read them all, and said, Sean, tell us the secret to how you do what you do. And the secret is these hands. That's the secret. You have to have some of the knowledge here, and I've taught myself all the knowledge, all the electricity, any electrical working. I learned on YouTube. I've had to rewire things. I've had to put 4 or 5 breaker boxes in, 200 amp service. I put pedestals in. I've dug ditches for water. I've done the plumbing. That's what's nice about mobile homes. You can crawl underneath the house and do all the plumbing on a house. You're jackhammering concrete foundations. There's all kinds of stuff that can go wrong when it comes to plumbing on a house. But a manufactured home, a mobile home, it's all underneath the house. It's all accessible. So that's one plus about manufactured homes. They're easier to work on. So there's just a lot of benefits. If you're paying somebody to do all this work, a contractor, you're not going to make any money. You know, I'm not going to say you're not going to make any money, but it just gets harder. But so for me, I've got that residual income that I talked about. So now I can start working for myself and get to a point where I can retire and I know I have enough money to live, because I've seen many people at an elder age, they run out of money. Trying to prepare that doesn't happen. Also, I don't want to be in a position when I get older, especially my fiance, my girlfriend, we get married or whatnot, where something happens to me that she runs out of money. She works very hard. My girlfriend works like I do. I'm not kidding you. Usually she's in here working. It's really hard when your partner, she's a few years older than me, is laying in bed and she's worked her butt off, texturing the ceilings, doing the drywall, all the stuff. She works like me, people. We're a team. And she's sleeping in bed, and she's sleeping. And I hear her moving, rolling around because her bones are sore. That's how hard we work. And so I kicked her out of the house. I've kicked her off the construction site. I rather my bones hurt. And she'll be back in here, because I do think that no work is not good. You need exercise, but she's a bull. She'll work herself into the ground. A lot like I used to do. My first job where I got this, I was under so much pressure and stress that I was worried that it would fail. I'm not kidding, folks. I worked, I think, about 9 months straight, no days off. And we're talking every moment I was awake, I was working, swinging hammers. That was the house that I finished to get the residual income. It's a rental now. It's been a rental for many years now. But that was the first one. And as I was describing earlier, that I borrowed money to get that. So I felt the pressure of the balloon payment, all this. It was tremendous pressure. But I was 40 years old. That was a while ago. I'm 55 now. So I worked so hard that I ripped my tendons or muscles in my arms. I couldn't even move my arms. I did everything. It's a whole video to tell you all the stuff I had to do to get that place together. But it was a free mobile home. And then, folks, it's like this. The only thing I can tell you is the only way it's not going to work is if you quit. So I got ripped off. I was trying to buy a mobile home on Craigslist, and a preacher ripped me off for 15 grand. I'm not kidding you. He devastated me. And so now I had no money, and something kept telling me, dude, why are you going to look on Craigslist to try to buy another home? You got no money. This freaking preacher. I shouldn't say preacher, but that he portrayed himself as one. I'm not going to say he's a preacher. Let's reverse that, because there's a lot of good people out there, a lot of good preachers, I think that's missing in society. That, I understand we're going to get a lot of comments on both sides of that fence, but I believe in organized religion and Christianity and all these different religions, as long as they're not hurting anybody, and the whole idea behind all these things is to help your neighbor, love thy neighbor. It's like, it's great values. We're losing that stuff in society, so I'm for that. So I don't want to sound like I'm preaching against that, but in this case, he got me. I lost all my money, but I was in a big bind, a big situation, just all this stress, and I worked myself into the ground. So I know how it is. The fruits of my labor has paid off, and so we don't have to kill ourselves to get this done. But when you first start, you might have to. I'm not kidding you. You might have to. You might have to work yourself into the ground, and then you still may not succeed, because it's just getting harder. I feel bad for our youth, the people out there watching these videos trying to get themselves started. So what I can say to all you out there, that if you don't have anything, a pot to piss in, Start saving money. I'm not kidding you. Don't make excuses why you need to go to Disneyland with your kids. I understand they're going to be kids one time. I raised both of my son and daughter. I understand it. Trust me. But the value of their time is doing things with them. Go camping out in the desert, dudes. I'm telling you, they'll be just as happy. Freaking build toys for, whatever you gotta do. But the most important thing you can do is start saving money. If you're renting, you're giving that person your money. You're building their wealth. You need to start that nest egg and build it up, and then go buy dirt if that's all you can buy. But make a good investment. Try to get it with utilities and all these things. Just have a plan and keep building towards that. If you can't get it with the utilities, then buy the land and then start saving, get the infrastructure on there. That's very costly. Be aware of the entire game plan, how much this is going to cost, so you understand what you're up against, okay? And as soon as you can, you get on that land. As soon as you can live on that land, you get on that land and you start building on it. You start going. I am a staunch believer, and as soon as you can make it happen, do it. Even borrowing money, whatever it is, but start paying that thing off. Basically, your mortgage, if you get a mortgage, if you double your payment on a mortgage, you can have it paid off in about 5-6 years. Get on an amortization schedule, a calculator online, start playing with those numbers, and you'll see what I'm saying. Now, many of you are aware I'm giving land away on this channel. I can only give one piece of dirt away to one of you out there. So far I've got, by the grace of God, I want to thank everybody out there. I've got like 5,600 and something subs as to this date of this video here that I'm making this video. I'm talking to you all here. And I'm very grateful for that. In order for you to work for yourself, you have to be willing to live in a place like this. Would you rather pay $2,000 a month or $1,500 a month for an apartment, and you're giving all your wealth, all that money to somebody else, and they're making bank on you? You're paying off their mortgage, or you're giving them cash, because they've got to pay it off. Would you rather just save up every dime you can get and then buy something like this and move into that? I had to boil water on the stove to get my kids ready for school. Yeah, we didn't have hot water. I have a hot water heater in the house yet. It was the first thing I probably put in the house. That's where I started. This home, I'm not living in it now, right this moment, but I will be very soon. But the first ones that I did, I moved right in. I lived in stuff like this all the time. I would make my kids wear masks. It was just so dirty until they went into their rooms. You start on one room. Everybody lives in that one room. You cook, get one bathroom together, one little spot, and that's where everybody lives. And then this is your construction site. If you got a family like me, they're not allowed in here without a mask. You got to be dedicated. There's no games. You got to be all in if you're wanting to do this. And that's how I felt. I did. I dived in, and I'm grateful. I'm very grateful. Thanks for watching my video. We'll see you on the next one.
I want to talk about the land that we're giving away. It's approximately 1 acre and a quarter, and it is off grid. It's just outside of the 3 Points area in Tucson, Arizona, and it's a beautiful acre. It is off grid. It's about 2 blocks from any infrastructure, meaning the electricity. So you would have to drill a well or haul in your water, and you would have to have solar. It's completely off grid. It's an unimproved property. So you've got to do everything required to make it suitable for your living needs. But it's free. It's a beautiful piece of property, and it can be yours. All you have to do is like, subscribe, and comment to my channel. And once we reach the 13,000 in AdSense revenue, we're going to give that property away. There'll be more about this in upcoming videos. Periodically, I'll give an update as to where we're at on the AdSense.